Okay. Wow. Well, welcome. Looks like we have a bunch of people piling in. So, welcome to the Landscape Ontario Congress Connect Town Hall. Despite the physical slowdown of fewer people on the streets and in public due to COVID-19, we're living in high velocity times. One of the trends I'm seeing is compressed time horizons. No one has years to respond anymore, and the pandemic really has forced every business to change how it operates, not by choice, but by necessity. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Salemi. I'm the Deputy Executive Director here at Landscape Ontario, and today we're going to be introducing Congress Connect, and we've got an incredible panel to have a conversation about what it means to go virtual and some of the things that we'll be talking about. But what we're living through right now isn't the latest wave of change. Really, it's more like a tsunami. Trends that we would have expected to play out over 10 years are now happening over a matter of days. Not being able to host an in-person Congress leaves us all with a little bit of a lump in our throats, being heavy-hearted, especially with not being able to see all of our industry friends that we count on connecting at Congress with every year. No tailgate party, no gala awards, but the team at Landscape Ontario is working at breakneck speed, putting together a virtual experience that will help you achieve your sales, your marketing goals, all in a pretty unique way. Congress Connect, you see, is a marketplace where you'll be able to connect with industry professionals and talk about what's new and how you can help your business and build your pipeline. Together, we're going to make history with Congress Connect. We've got an incredible lineup this afternoon. From Connexus, we have Kyle Dugan. He's worked with Connexus registration for 15 years with a range of all different kinds of event experience, from small meetings to huge international conferences and trade shows. Working really closely with Landscape Ontario for a number of years. You might even recognize him from the conference registration desk, usually located in the Mirvish lobby of the Congress Center. Kyle, along with his team at Connexus Registration, has consistently provided reliable and personalized service to show organizers, exhibitors, partners, and attendees of Congress, and they're very happy to continue to do so as we enter this virtual world together. Some interesting things that you may not know about Kyle. He can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 5 minutes. He's the owner of a rescued 6-year-old yellow lab named Cody. And he's most looking forward to being able to dig into some karaoke when all this COVID stuff is over. We have Wendy Ladd from Jim Pattison Lease. Hey, Wendy. Building the right truck for a company is a passion for Wendy. She loves building relationships, meeting new people, and connecting and collaborating. Wendy joined the team at Jim Pattison Lease, Canada's leader in customized fleet management, and is a board member of the Toronto chapter of Landscape Ontario. Jim Pattison Lease is a proud member of Landscape Ontario and loves being involved with the landscape and snow removal community. And Wendy's also an author. I found that out recently. Some things about Wendy that you really need to know. She loves the color turquoise. She loves to dance. Cooking and especially eating are a passion of hers, and she's an avid wine connoisseur. She's a gal that loves trucks, and she drives a Chevy Crew Cab after all. Thanks for joining us, Wendy. We have Carrie McIver from here at Landscape Ontario on the events team with over 17 years of experience in major event planning, including trade shows and galas, virtual event planning, graphic design, sales, marketing, volunteer management, and fundraising. And Carrie, is there anything that you don't do? Starting with the amazing LO team in March of 2019, after moving back home from the East Coast, she jumped right into the show team to start planning for Congress 2020. And what an incredible experience. Fast forward to March this year, in the beginning of COVID, Carrie organized 28 webinars inside of 36 days, and then jumped right in to start planning and learning all about virtual for our very first virtual show and conference Snowposium in just a matter of a month and a half. Since COVID put a halt on live events, Carrie and the show team have switched gears to plan and organize Congress Connect 2021. And besides trying to kill her boyfriend with ghost peppers in her salad, Carrie's one of the hardest working people I've ever had the opportunity to meet. She's always on it. Last but not least, we have Andrew Knorr from WPE Equipment. Andrew is the marketing director at WPE. With a degree in advertising and graphic design, Andrew's he's been utilizing his creative gifts in the design and marketing industry for 30 years. He loves moonlit strolls on the beach, red roses by the armful, and flash mobs. Well, okay, he doesn't really love any of those things, but the people close to him would describe him as a loving family guy with a creative passion to help grow the businesses he works with. What an incredible panel. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
You got
Thanks,
it.
Joe.
Kyle.
Thank you.
I'd like to start with Kyle. Everybody wants to know, everybody that's joined us today wants to know about the platform, right? What does Congress Connect look like? How's it all going to work? What are we in store for? So maybe you could get you to start off by introducing what it's all about and what we should expect.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you all for your time today. Obviously, to take you back to March when COVID first hit, Connexus registration, just like everybody else, was part of that group of people that at first hoped that live events and events in general would make a swinging comeback in June, and then September, and then January of 2021, and here we are all today, kind of coming to terms with the fact that this has kind of become a temporary normal that the events industry has had to deal with. So with that being said, Connexus registration works very closely with partners in the industry and has found a platform, a virtual event platform, that we find to be a great solution. And there were a few key things when it came to virtual event platforms that were important to us and our customers when we were looking at switching to this type of event. Number one was customizability. So the Congress Connect platform is really custom. It's going to be built specifically for the event needs of Congress Connect in terms of terminology, in terms of the layout. Connexus registration prides itself in having been on site at the in-person Congress event for over 10 years. Like I said, I think Joe said 15 years plus that we've been on site. So we're very familiar with the style of event and the way that everybody needs to engage and interact. So the customizability of the online platform was very important. We were also looking for a platform that allowed all of the users, especially exhibitors who were building the virtual booths in this platform, to be able to integrate with all of the services and the other sorts of products that they found themselves using in this new virtual world, from meeting scheduling tools and all of that type of stuff. This platform really allows a wide range of flexibility for exhibitors in terms of integrating with their existing services. And then from that standpoint, the spectrum is huge in terms of booths being really easy for low technical users to be able to build a really nice custom booth without needing too many technical tricks, up their sleeves. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got the ability for exhibitors with lots of custom needs and interesting things that they want to do to be able to do that with this platform. So it gives you that scale depending on what your company's trying to do. And last but not least, we wanted a platform with optimal customer service and being something that was cost effective at the same time. So we needed to be conscious of the fact that everybody going into this new virtual world isn't really sure of what the results are going to be. So we needed to be really sensitive to costs going into it in the early stages. So we found a really cost effective and very customer responsive system. And we're really excited to move forward with Congress Connect on this platform.
So are we. Kyle, can we take it back a little bit? I mean, we're talking about customizations and really being able to do anything that you want. But what about those that haven't ever experienced a virtual event or being an exhibitor at a virtual event or in a virtual marketplace, what does a booth look like?
That's another great question, Joe. For any exhibitors that have maybe dipped their toe into virtual events, have maybe done one or two, that answer changes from event to event, just like it does with in-person events. So for our platform, the virtual event booth allows exhibitors the opportunity to link a lot of their existing online presence. So what we've been recommending to a lot of, especially new users of these virtual events, is to take this opportunity to really spruce up, if it doesn't exist already, create it, but a social media presence, your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your YouTube accounts. All of those accounts integrate and link really nicely through many of these virtual event platforms, especially the one that we'll be using for Congress Connect. So making sure that all of your social media accounts are updated, have relevant information that's engaging to attendees and to your customers. Being able to link those up-to-date social media accounts is really key. We've seen some exhibitors at other events that have created whole social media campaigns from scratch for these virtual events and have been really effective in getting their customers' attention so that way.
Right on. Thank you. And what kind of collateral, like marketing collateral or sales materials, would exhibitors or suppliers look to put onto their profile inside of Congress Connect?
Totally. There's obviously from simple things such as including your company logo, links to your website, as I mentioned, links to all of your social media sites. You could also embed videos, whether you're hosting your videos on YouTube, Vimeo, or you've got an MP4 file hosted on your website. We embed those videos right in your booth so that attendees can engage and watch those videos. You also have the opportunity to upload PDF documents, sales price lists, sales brochures, those types of things. And then finally, the ability in our marketplace and new product showcase area, the ability to upload an image and description of exactly that, a new product or a show promo or something that you're looking to really unveil at the conference.
Right on. And thank you, Kyle, for that. I'm going to go over to Andrew, in case you're on mute. Unmute yourself. Preparation for virtual events is key. And when we were getting ready to put on Snowposium, which was really Landscape Ontario's first kind of venture into the virtual conference and trade show world, you and your team at WPE put out a fantastic video specifically for the event. Can you talk to us a little bit about what went into the planning of that video and why you chose to do a custom video for the event rather than something you could use over and over in your marketing?
Sure, Joe, no problem. And thank you very much for having me be part of this panel. Appreciate it. When all this came down, as you were describing in the introduction, as far as the whole new virtual world that the pandemic brought forward, it made everything leap forward in many ways. And so when Landscape Ontario offered the virtual platform for us to still be interacting and networking with our target market and with people that we've always enjoyed rubbing shoulders with and interacting with at an event, we were impressed and really grateful for that option to be open to us, and so I'm privileged to be part of a marketing team. Shalina is also on marketing at WPE, and so we sat down and batted back and forth some ideas, and we started with what are the benefits and the highlights of a trade show and events such as these, and so we went through those, and we wanted to protect and reenact that as best as we could, and so we looked at the options. We know that especially with COVID-19, it has also ramped up how people are viewing things online, and so 80% of people prefer to watch a video as opposed to read an article. And so we started from there. We looked at our options, and we looked what was available to us, and kind of looked at where our strengths and weaknesses were. Shalina's great with technical stuff, even though she wouldn't say that. And so Shalina and myself, we attended some of the virtual webinars that Landscape Ontario put on. She acquainted herself quite well in the platform that we would be utilizing through Snowposium, and that gave us the option of what questions to ask, what we could do, what we couldn't do, what would work well in the direction that we wanted to take things. And so that's where we decided to create a theme, and the theme was a newsroom. We wanted to reenact a newsroom environment, and so we went to our Mississauga location, and that had its challenges because business was on as regular. We had customers coming in and out, and we'd have to, cut mid scene, but we actually had a lot of fun with it. We have some very gifted people on staff here. We have Danny with a drone, and as you've seen, Shalina and Dan Vandenberg, our sales manager, they were the anchor people for the event. And so what we wanted to do was create kind of the look and feel of when you're going to a booth, right? That it's engaging, it's interacting. They're still able to see what kind of deals and promotionals that we could offer them, and so yeah, that was our approach to what you see now as the videos, and we divided them into segments so that they would be, not too long to lose the interest of the people. And and then the reason why we did a more custom approach, mentioning Snowposium rather than a generic where we could use those videos for other events, is there's two reasons for that. One is we really wanted to acknowledge and take our hat off to Landscape Ontario for offering this platform. It was very forward thinking. It was very much, using the situation and seeing and being creative in how can we still connect the members within the association in such a way that we can still network and benefit one another and still move forward with decisions and direction. And so, we wanted to acknowledge that and be a part of that in a specific way. The second may sound a little cliche-ish, but we sell great product, but not all product is suitable for every individual. Every person's unique. Their needs are unique, and we desire to take that approach also with how we market ourselves. Is that you're unique, and this situation is unique, and that's why we made it a custom fit for the event.
Thanks, Andrew. That's really helpful, and I think you touch on something that is really important. And when we all walked the halls of the Congress Center and saw the different booths, so many of the different suppliers had very specific content for the event, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to call on you first and talk to you about that video. Is I think there is something very, very special about customizing your content for the event. And I think something very, very powerful when it comes to that. Something on a lot of people's minds, and I'm going to put this to both Kyle and Carrie. And I did see a couple of questions that came in through the chat. And just by the way, for everybody watching, if you do have questions, please fire them into the chat, and we'll do our absolute best to answer those questions. There are some questions about how does the platform work? How do you edit your profile or your booth? And what does the darn thing look like, right? So I think some people want to know. So maybe you could just talk to that a little bit, either Kyle or Carrie.
Absolutely. Did you want to go ahead with that one, Kyle? Or
yeah. Sure. I was having trouble unmuting. Sorry. Story of my life. But yes. So the in terms of the look and feel, as I mentioned, it's in the works right now. We've received all of the branding, and it's being built basically from the ground up. In terms of the physical virtual booths, there is an interface and a really easy to use link that is sent out to the confirmed exhibitor. So from a user experience, if you are a confirmed exhibitor, your link will basically take you into your virtual booth building page that is very easy to use. And as I mentioned, if you are low tech, it's easy to populate your booth. And if you are high tech, you can use all of the skills in your high tech toolbox at your disposal when building that booth. So it's very flexible in terms of the range of abilities.
Great. And the follow-up to that, what does it look like? And I know it's kind of a loaded question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just so that everybody else knows. Yeah.
When you refer to what does it look like, so the virtual event as a whole will have it'll have a great landing page with a welcome video. A lot of this is being developed with organizers now and being finalized in terms of where everything will be located in terms of the navigation. But without giving too much away, I understand there'll be links to things like that you're familiar with, Hardscape Live and those types of educational content. All of the conference education content will be located in an area of the virtual event for anybody who has access and has registered for those educational sessions. I do understand all of the educational sessions will be recorded and available on demand, which gives a lot of opportunity for people who before weren't able to attend certain sessions because they maybe took place during exhibit hall hours. Now they've got an opportunity to go back and watch those sessions at a later date, which is a great increased access for those individuals. Otherwise, the look and feel is going to have an exhibit hall landing area where all of the exhibitors' logos and company names will be listed, searchable by keywords, sorted by categories. All of your standard show guide organizational components will be incorporated into the virtual searching area for the exhibits. And when you find an exhibitor and go into their quote unquote virtual booth, it will basically be like a website specific to that exhibitor where all of their functions are available. You can contact them by email. If they have exhibitors live in the booth, you can go ahead and chat with those exhibitors that are sitting there ready to chat with you in real time. If that exhibitor wants you to participate in a survey, they can have a nice link in their booth where you can hop off and fill in a survey for them and be entered in a exhibitor-specific prize draw of some kind. Really, the sky's the limit. And just like an in-person event, as an exhibitor, if there's anything that you want to try and do in your booth that doesn't seem obvious, our team and the landscape team is here just like we are with the in-person events to help you accomplish that. So yeah, in terms of the what does it look like, it looks like whatever you're hoping it will look like in a lot of ways, which is nice. The in terms of each booth.
Yeah, I think what some people are asking about is like, when do we get to see, and when do we get to access the platform, right? And so maybe you can just hit on that a little bit.
Sure. So if you're confirmed exhibitors, I believe a confirmed exhibitor list was done just last week. It's being incorporated right now. I can't confirm the timeline here on this call, unfortunately, but imminently, those exhibitors who have paid and confirmed will receive the links to start going in and building their booths. As future exhibitors confirm, they'll also receive those links. Registration, I believe, will be opening very soon for attendees to start registering. And then basically late in December, early in January, the timeline to be confirmed still, login emails will go out to exhibitors, attendees, speakers, all stakeholders, everyone attending the virtual event, with an email inviting them to physically log into the virtual event environment a couple of days or a week or so in advance of the live days. And in that early time, that gives attendees, exhibitors, speakers, all of those people opportunities to populate their virtual event profile, add a profile picture, link their Facebook, link their Instagram, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. And
my pleasure.
It looks like Amy from our events team put in a link to a PDF, which will give you an idea, a little bit of a sneak peek at what the platform will look like. So definitely check out that PDF. Wendy, I want to come over to you. You've got a ton of experience in the vehicle leasing game. You know, trucks are in your blood, and connecting with people is really what it's all about to make deals happen, right?
Yeah.
And so, how are you looking at virtual events to kind of help, build your pipeline? And what are some of the things that you're doing ahead of Congress Connect that will make sure you have the best possible outcome?
Well, thanks, Carrie, first of all, for showing me the last virtual symposium that we did, because for anybody out there listening to this, I had no idea what a virtual event was. Like, what does it look like? All I knew is I had to change with the time, because I would go out and meet every customer. My VP and I, Tom, we'd go out, we'd meet every customer, and now we're doing everything online. So I had to find a way so that I could still connect with the people. And as you shared, I love social media, collaborating, and trying to find a way to talk to people. But I do miss meeting people live. But what I found with this virtual event, and Landscape Ontario stepped up to the plate to show us how to do this. I went in and I organized, I researched, and I'm not a huge researcher, but it was very easy. And when I said to Carrie, question after question, she made it really simple for me. So knowing what it's like now, I'm going to give hope to people that are on here right now saying, what does it look like? And I know you can't physically see it, but I can assure you that it was so super simple to set up. So super simple. And I actually started having fun with it once I realized I could upload photos, the website, and then through the whole event, I saw people connecting with me. But preparing for it is big, because you need to be able to step out of the box, that times are changing, and you got to go with the flow a little bit. You got to check out your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, to make sure that you are positioning your company to win, because you're going to be going here, putting the effort in, spending time online. You want to prepare for this by, researching the platform, finding out what is your company's message that you want to do. That's a biggie. Finding out what's the message, what do you want as your call of action from this event? So I prepare, by researching a lot, checking out videos, learning different platforms, but just feeling confident that the information is going to be there for you.
Right on. And as a follow-up to that, the how well you do at the event is so often defined by how many leads that you get as a result of the event. And maybe Kyle or Carrie, you can help with this, but Wendy, please do chime in on the importance of this. Is all the leads that you do generate, being able, first of all, to capture who they are with quality data and contact information, but more on the follow-up. How important is it to execute on the follow-up post-show?
Yeah, you're leaving money on the table for your company, basically, if you don't follow up on your lead. Not the main purpose to go there is to get leads, but you want to definitely follow up, thank them for coming to your booth, send them an email, make a phone call, you find out what's the best way for your company, but you definitely at least want to thank people, for coming to your booth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and with this platform as an exhibitor, there's kind of two levels of leads. You'll have your, what I like to call your hot leads, and that's anyone who really engages with your booth, somebody who engages in the booth chat, who sends an email, who actually tries to communicate with you. Any of those types of attendees will obviously be at the top of your list, will have real-time communication with. And then you've got your passive leads, which is basically any eyeball that hits your virtual booth will be part of a list that is, if I'm not mistaken, Carrie, shared with exhibitors some way, shape, or form after the event, or is available in a statistic way.
Yep.
And then as an attendee, they have the ability to protect themselves a little bit from spam and unnecessary contact. They can go into their profile settings and turn off that they're being included in those kinds of lists if they don't want to be bombarded by that kind of stuff. So there is a little bit of consciousness on the privacy side of things, while of course making sure that you as exhibitors get all of the statistics and information that you're looking for from the event.
It was cool because when I was actually online at the last event, we had people come into our booth. And it sounds funny saying people come into your booth because it's virtual, but people could message you and they could video chat with you live if they wanted to. So we did get some clients from it. And we did have a lot of people email, they hit the list of, looking at our product and wanted quotes and stuff. So we did get a lot of that. It's actually really surprised.
Awesome.
That's not excited about this one.
Yeah, we are getting some questions about, what we're targeting in terms of attendance, numbers, how many people do we think is going to come? And, what does the actual platform look like, and can we see it? And I think the best analogy that I've heard to date so far about this, because this is new for everyone, both attendees and exhibitors, and for us as organizers, think of it as we're building the plane as we fly it, if that makes sense, right? So we're flying this plane and building it at the exact same time. So we're learning along with everybody. But what I will share is that our marketing, our digital marketing to bring people as attendees to the event is aggressive. We're using a very tactful digital marketing campaign that will essentially be everywhere that people are browsing the web. So digital remarketing, email mapping, all using a very smart platform. So we're targeting over 70 advertising digital networks. So I hope that helps in the understanding of what our marketing is all about. And Carrie, maybe you can talk about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, I know every year with a live event, as an exhibitor, you get your VIP pass. So this year it is going to be very similar to it. But instead of that unique code that we would always issue you, we've created a graphic that says, I'm a proud sponsor, or I'm a proud exhibitor of Congress Connect. So we'll be emailing that out to everybody. There's sized so that you can actually promote it on all of your social media pieces. And then it would be directed right back to the registration page. That being said, registration, we're hoping to open for attendees for the beginning of November. So hopefully we'll be able to get that up and running before too long. But yeah, so we have the VIP passes. Right now, we actually have over 50 companies that are supporting Congress Connect. So we're very thankful to everybody that's been involved. And, it's been great just chatting with people because, of course, as an event planner myself, I want to be out on the floor. I want to be meeting people and connecting with you guys face to face. So all of us are missing that. Instead, sitting here on my freezing cold porch and having video chats. But it's been interesting. And in ways, virtually, I've been able to connect with a lot more of you guys than I had been in prior to this. So we're always reaching out, offering different ways to help market things. Throughout the rest of the year, because the event is a 1 year, it's open for an entire year. What our plan is to do is, right now, some of you have been seeing the new product showcase that have been coming out through our exhibitors that have registered so far. We're going to be continuing to do that throughout the year. So every now and then we'll be reminding people, okay, we'll come back and check out the exhibitors in their exhibitor virtual space. we also will be doing some other sales pieces. So depending on that time of year, like the time of year, if it's the garden centers or it's the snow industry, we're going to be promoting people to come back and check out different areas. So we'll take every, different times throughout the year that we can, anytime we can market to come back and visit the exhibitor booths, we will.
Yeah, and I think just to add on top of that, Carrie, the idea would be to that anybody could sign up and register to come and check out the Congress Connect Marketplace at any time. So if you missed the live dates, you can still register after that and come on in and check it out. And that was one of the big benefits of the platform that we used when we did Snowposium. Right?
That was great.
Yeah, Wendy, Snowposium is still live today.
Yes, right? I was in there the other day.
Right, and as someone that participated in that, and maybe Andrew, you can speak to this as well. Are you still getting traffic that's coming through there, and are you still connecting with attendees?
I am. So that was a good thing. We had a request 2 weeks ago from Snowposium, and I did get the list afterwards, like Carrie did share. So I did have that, and I did make some connections. But there are some people like what you just shared, Joe, which is amazing. You can go back and watch. So I've gone back and watched a couple of things that I didn't get to see because you can't be everywhere. And it's like at Congress, you can't be everywhere. And I'm excited to know that all of those events of speakers, I'm going to be able to go back and watch them all because I could only see a few and I was at the booth. But going back, I rewatched some things, and then some people said, "Oh, I didn't see your video from before, by the way." And I'm like, "Sure, like you have that platform." So I think it's cool for moving forward this year that you're going to be able to see everything for a year. Like if it snows, sometimes everybody can't get to there, and I'm not going to miss the snow drive.
Right.
But I think that's very cool that you can offer that, because if you've missed something or if you want to see it again, if you're like, oh, what exactly did they say? You get to go back. And I think a lot of people can utilize that. That's an excellent part of it.
Yeah. And Andrew, maybe over to you to get some comments from you about that.
Yeah, we had the same experience as Wendy. At first, when Snowposium announced that they were going to have their event in July, I mean, many of our customers and clients are, out there working and not thinking about snow removal and that. But yeah, it proved to be a great feature that all those videos and platforms were still available for a whole year. And we are getting traction still today from something that was almost half a year ago. And it's been great.
Wonderful. Kyle, maybe a question for you and Carrie, if you know as well. You guys are resident platform experts. How easy? So let's say you've gone it. We've had Congress Connect, and after that, an exhibitor in the marketplace has products that come out post live event. How easy is it to update the profile and adjust offerings and switch up videos and brochures and any kind of digital content?
Mm-hmm.
Super easy. Same way that they'll be doing it when they're building their booth. So what's I kind of glanced over it, and I probably shouldn't, because this is obviously the big question is how do we build our booths? But if I can put your mind at ease in any way, it's a page with a field, and you drop in a link. So that's how you would get a video in there, is you'd put your YouTube link in there. To link your Facebook page, you'll put your Facebook link, your URL, website right there in there. It's very, very easy and straightforward to link everything and to connect everything through your virtual booth. So when the event goes live and all the way throughout the year, if you need to make any changes to that, all you have to do is pop into your virtual event platform and make those changes. Same goes for any images or PDF files you've uploaded. You can go ahead and remove them if they're outdated. You can add new ones, all within whatever your limit is based on your exhibitor status or exhibitor level.
And if you're not a high IT person, I did the whole thing. So So for everybody, what I just want to share quickly is every company has somebody that can do this. Like you've got your marketing teams, your IT teams, and they'll find it so super easy. But for some of us over 40 will have a harder time, but it was easy for me. So I think once people get to see what it looks like, that's something that I had to see. There's an events page, there's a get to meet people's page, there's who's logged in page, like it's all there. It's really simple. So it's not as easy right now because we don't get to see the page, but I can assure you that the pages and the little icons are there. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, and when you log in to build your virtual booth, first and foremost, up on the top right corner is our support email. So at any point in the process, if you hit a roadblock or a question, you can send us a support email. Those answers come within 24 hours, usually within 3 if I'm sitting at my computer. So we're very supportive in terms of any questions you might have. And then further to that, when the event does eventually go live, the platform itself features live real-time technical support right there on the website. So users, attendees, speakers, anyone who at any point during the platform or during the virtual event has a question, there's a real live person sitting there able to answer their questions.
Yeah, that's great.
And there's Carrie too.
And Carrie.
Yeah.
And Carrie, I have to say, Carrie,
I have her cell number now.
I know that Shalina fired off a number of questions to you, and you were most helpful. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of support there for these events, which is really important.
Well, and you guys asking all those questions is part of the learning curve, because it's some of these questions like it gets us thinking, okay, well, yeah, what else can we do? So the whole reason actually this webinar is happening. So I did a webinar similar to it leading up to Snowposium, and one of our other show team members, he was talking to another member, and she had said, well, why don't you guys do another webinar like you did before? That would be fantastic and give us all a better idea as to what Congress Connect's all about. So here we are. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
and maybe Carrie, you can help us understand. So when we think of virtual events, we've seen so many promotions for a virtual trade show or virtual conference.
Yep.
What is Congress Connect?
So Congress Connect is not a trade show. We refer to it as marketplace. So it's a place where everybody can come and start. It's a place for you to put your products, to showcase all the products that you have, to showcase your new products, to connect with those in the industry, since right now, obviously, none of us are able to get out in front of people, and we don't know how long that's going to be for. So we wanted to have a place where you guys were still able to connect with the industry, still make those sales, still show off your products, and connect with one another. We do offer the conference portion. So the conference is still going on this year. And registration for that, like I said, will open in November. And something that's new, anybody that's registered for the conference, they have access to that on demand. So for the entire year. So there's 32 different sessions, and they may not get to see it all at once, but you can go back many times throughout the year to actually watch those. Same with connecting with the exhibitors or any of the exhibitor videos that you've placed up and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's all about a marketplace and showcasing the products that you have and working on helping you reach your sales goals.
Can I just add something to Carrie for a quick sec? Because
absolutely,
a product is also a service, because there's some people that don't actually have a physical product. So it just made me chime in for a second, because Jim Pattison, we offer obviously a service, but we have trucks, but we don't have like an inventory per se like WPE does. So you can actually build a spot for people to see your services as well.
Yep.
You can create your own presentation there. You can put your own photos there, your own documents there. Anything that you have a service, you can also do that as well, because I'm thinking for all the landscape companies that offer such great service. For all of you out there, you can also do your service out there too. You can also have specials for your services. Anything that you want to promote for that event, you can do. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the one thing we do want to remind people is like, so it's not, so Congress Connect, we have our virtual marketplace. So those 3 days leading up to Congress, when you're building your booth and making it look absolutely incredible, You don't have to do that this year. So it's just like you can upload all those products. But some of the cool things, like, Andrew talking about the different videos that they did with WPE, have fun with those videos. You can actually, for one example is, if you have a nursery, why not, and you have somebody that has a drone on site, do a drone footage showcasing what your nursery looks like, showcase your workplace and have fun with it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Carrie. I think, often trade shows are used as a way to do a bit of a show and tell. Like, here's the best version of our companies, and here's all the things that we do to help landscape businesses grow and prosper and profit. Yeah, absolutely, is an incredible point to do that. This is the time to use Congress Connect to show off.
And to your point about having fun, Carrie, just to give an example of an exhibitor we had at another event that created their whole social media presence from scratch for their virtual event. They put together some great YouTube videos, and in doing so ended up creating some YouTube blooper videos from their content and posting those on their page. Those ended up being one of the most engaged with videos in their booth and started a lot of conversations with them. So it was a little bit outside the box for them. But to Carrie's point, they were having a little bit of fun with it. It was a really human kind of interaction in the booth. So it was nice.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun putting the videos together, and we are by no means professional at doing it. You do what you can with what you have, and I think a lot of people are looking more for the message and the heart behind it than they are looking for everything polished and just looking, just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had with the panel, we had a little bit of a warm up yesterday or the day before. My days are mixing together now. But
blending.
We were chatting about humanizing our content, and one of the reasons I think that blooper video was so engaging and was so successful is because it humanized everybody at the company, right? And people buy from people; they buy why you do it, not what you do. And I think that's so important to remember when creating your content.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other things, so with Congress Connect, we're not trying to replace Congress as a whole. So Congress Connect is actually benefiting Congress. So, one of these days, hopefully next year, we'll all be able to come back together again and with a face-to-face event. But that being said, we'd still be able to, we can do a hybrid type of event and have those features for, we don't know what it's going to look like a year from January. So there can be pieces that are online. There are pieces that we can still have live, and that way we can incorporate both aspects of it.
For Kyle and Carrie, how easy is it? So you've invested in a profile in the marketplace, and you've got everything set up. You've rock and rolled with your videos. They're all customized to Congress Connect. You've got brochures like PDFs. So you've got some great digital content, and you've got now you got industry professionals, landscape business owners, nurseries, garden centers that are coming in. They're interested in your product, services, and the different solutions that you offer. So you've got the supplier here, and you've got the attendee here. How easy is it on the platform to connect?
So for the exhibitors, when they've logged in, basically, they have what we call the Exhibitor Control Center, where they control their exhibitor chats, and they can set their availability. So if any booth staff from a company is set to available, then a nice chat with booth rep button will appear in the virtual booth, and an attendee who goes to that booth can click on that and open a real-time chat with any exhibitors sitting in the booth. If all of the exhibitor reps turn their availability to off, then that button will disappear, and attendees can therefore only communicate by the email button. The one other thing I'll mention is that in our platform, if you set your availability as available to chat, but then you happen to close your browser, walk into your kitchen, go downstairs, go outside, go for a walk, but you've left yourself as available, and somebody starts to chat with you, you will receive an email notification. And if you've put your cell phone number on your profile, also a text message notification letting you know that somebody's trying to chat with you. So it's just a little, it doesn't actually give you the chat. You can't respond to the chat, but it does let you know, hey, you've stepped away from your chat. It says you're there, but somebody sent you a chat. So there is a nice notification system that will keep you up to date on any chats that come through.
That's great. So like there's a little nudge if you don't happen to be at your computer, but you have your phone with you. As a supplier at Congress Connect, you'll get a nice little tap on the shoulder to say, hey, someone wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
And if people navigate like their social media, like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff, like we do that kind of now already, right? Like we'll tap into somebody and message and, you know, we get messages later, or you can see live on Instagram. So I think it's something that a lot of people are doing already. So they don't have to feel, you know, nervous about it by any means, because you get on like one-on-one, which is great.
Yeah, fantastic.
And the one other thing I'll mention, I happen to notice a question there in the chat. Particularly with regards to scheduling meetings, or if you're going to be, I mentioned earlier, if you want to do a company survey. So both the meeting scheduler and the company survey tool are both part of what I was referring to with really easy integration. So if you as an exhibitor have a meeting scheduler tool, Calendly, I believe is a popular one. There's a few others out there. You can use your system and using a link from whatever your meeting scheduling system is, turn a button on in your booth that just says schedule a meeting. And again, it sounds complicated when I'm speaking it, but when you get into the page, you'll see it's literally schedule a meeting in a box that you pop your link in and you've got the button turned on. So it's very, very easy to activate and very easy to use with whatever systems and services you've already got set up with your company.
And again, for Kyle and Carrie, the classification of product, service, and solutions, Pamela is asking, how good is the search in the platform? So if you're looking for, with her example, specifically looking for LED flashing lights for trucks, right, or accessories for trucks, if she were to type that in, how likely would she find products? I guess it would depend on if those types of exhibitors existed at the Congress Connect marketplace, but if they did, for example.
So I can give you a little bit of info on that. Each booth is given a company description field, which is 1,000 characters, and anything that's typed into the keyword search by an attendee will query that description field. So as an exhibitor, we recommend and we put in our tips and tricks that you include in that description as many keywords, products, services, things that people might search for that you want to link to your company. Include them in those 1,000 characters, and they'll be optimized for searching abilities. The other thing that's great with LO and that Carrie and her team have done is they've categorized the exhibitors, I believe, based on when they register, they specify categories. Those will be linked to your booth as well, so that a user can filter by those types of categories to par down the list. And you as an exhibitor, when you're building your booth, you'll see those categories and you can adjust them if they're a little bit different than what you want to be listed on your booth. It's very easy to check a few more off, uncheck a few that maybe don't apply any longer. And that makes your searchability really, really easy from a user perspective.
Incredible. Thank you. Carrie, just before we start to wrap up, someone is asking about the packages that are offered for Congress Connect to get involved, and what are the main differences between them?
Yeah. So with the packages, obviously we have your starter package for the $2,000, and then you go into your second and third tier. So the second and third tier offer a little bit more marketing support. So for example, in tier number 2, you actually get to have one of your new products placed in one of our new product e-blasts leading up to Congress. If you selected option 1 doesn't have that. Option 3, you get to select 2 options, 2 products to be featured in 2 different e-blasts. You are also able to, we have something new this year called our Congress Connect Guide. Again, it would be a certain number available for for each of those levels. And then we also have, there's some additional add-ons as well that you can have for marketing. But one of the key features for the for option number 3 is we have something. So when you're on the home page, there's actually going to be a live button. So on there, it's a live desk, and we're going to be hosting it'll be kind of like our new product showcase. So we'll have one of our sponsors is hosting it, and they will actually interview different companies to showcase one of their products. So they're given 3 minutes to talk about their product. It could be they can have a little presentation prepared about it, but they're given the 3 minutes to talk about that. So it's just a little bit more different types of marketing throughout for each package.
Right on. And excuse me, just as we start to wrap up, I'd like to get some comments from each of you, all having been involved in virtual events now at some capacity, some more than others. What for those that haven't experienced or may have had an off experience with a virtual event, what are some advice that you could offer some of those who are new or haven't had a great first experience? Kyle,
I'll chime on that because
Wendy, let's start with you.
It was my first experience, right? So I'm probably the most greenest one of us all for virtual, and I'm hoping I'm giving hope to everybody watching.
Yes.
I think the main thing would be to just have a little bit of patience, understand what the platform is, what it looks like. You might feel overwhelmed when you first look at it and say, wow, I got to fill all this out. But once you start clicking away, you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought. So be kind to yourself and have patience as you go through it all. It's not difficult at all. So I'm hoping that I'm giving hope to you to sign up, go look, get a booth, start to have fun, step out of the box, go with the changing times, because your business deserves to be there, because you need to be there to connect with your customers. They're looking for you, whether you want to be there. You might not want to, but they want to see you. And once you get started, you'll be like, wow, I'm ready for the next one. That's what I kind of thought. I'm giving hope, everybody. Sign up.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Andrew, we'll come over to you.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. A lot of times it's the fear of the unknown. It's kind of a daunting thing, especially if you're not technical, to think, oh, I'm not technical, therefore I'm not going to get it. But there is incredible support. And like Wendy says, there's a lot of step-by-step. And it's one of those things where your absence will speak louder than you imagine, and you want to be there for sure. And once you've gone through it, I mean, if you think, oh, well, I don't have the time for that. Well, going to Congress requires travel and time and setup and all that. And now, you're using that time in a different sphere, and it's worth it. And like was said already, we don't know how long this is going to be. And we definitely want to make the best out of the situation so that we can still serve the people that we love.
Absolutely.
That we love.
Absolutely.
You can set up your booth in your pajamas.
So true. So true.
I'm not going to miss it.
Kyle,
guys, John, everybody helps us.
Yes, absolutely. Kyle, what advice would you give to those that are new to a virtual event? What kind of advice can you offer?
Well, first off, thanks again, everybody, for your time today. I would, having seen a few virtual events go off the ground over the last couple of weeks, I would recommend patience is key, especially for first-time virtual event folks. If you'll find that your invitation emails, your login emails, they're going to have what seems like a lot of information. What I would really recommend folks do if this is your first time on a virtual event is really pay attention to stuff like your browser and your internet connection. This is something we're finding a lot of virtual people or first-time virtual people are kind of missing the boat on. Internet Explorer, for everyone's information, is retired in November. Nobody should be trying to navigate to any virtual events through Internet Explorer. They'll think that you've done a terrible job building your event, but it's all Internet Explorer related. So same thing with other browsers, they update constantly. So if you haven't updated your browsers, you may have a different user experience than you're supposed to have if you have the most up-to-date browsers. So really check that in your email login emails. There's nice links to make sure you're up to date on all of your browsers. For Congress Connect, for instance, all of the education will be presented through Zoom. So you'll get a link to make sure your Zoom is all up to date and as optimized as possible for the best experience. So those are my little tips in terms of the couple of road bumps I've seen, speed bumps rather. But otherwise, it's been really quick for people to pick it up and get online.
Right on. Thanks, Kyle. And Carrie, you've been handling a lot of sales discussions, and from what I understand, your closing rate is quite high. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, what are some of the concerns that some of the people that you talk to have had, and how have you been able to alleviate them?
Well, I guess actually a lot of them were kind of answered on today's call. So, one of them is, with it being live versus an in-person, or a live versus a virtual type event, like how does that compare? So, we touched on that, on to ways that we can incorporate it and make it interactive and that sort of thing. Another one is like with the platform being open for a year, how is that going to help your business? So, like I said before, we're going to be sending out reminders for people to come back, check out the virtual space, see what Congress Connect is all about, and encourage you to update those products and promotions to drive people to your booths throughout the year. Not knowing what the booth looks like, that's definitely something that, of course, is scary, because it's like, okay, do you want to buy a car without seeing it first or test driving it? No, of course not. However, working with Kyle and Connexus, they have some great images and stuff that we've created and uploaded a PDF to kind of showcase what it can look like. They're working hard to develop the platform to us so that it's geared to our industry and, that kind of thing. But right now, as it's being developed and it's going to be open within a few weeks, why not start out, like, you can start getting your videos ready. You can start prepping because it doesn't take long to actually upload all those files and get things into play. So the longest part that you really have is like if you're creating those videos and stuff like that. Time, do you have to sit in front of your computer for the entire 3 days? Absolutely not. So like Kyle said, you get notifications if you step away. You can get a text message, you'll get an email notification, that sort of thing. So you don't need to be sitting in front of your computer for the entire day. The live desk. So a lot of people have been asking about, like, what's the live desk. So that's where we're showcasing the new product showcase. And they've also been asking about our live series. So we have, Hardscape Live and Drive Live will actually be taking part with us this year again. And they'll actually have their own booths. So we'll have a bunch of information, some videos and stuff like that right inside the booth to help because that was a huge drive for a lot of our attendees that would kind of visit and stuff. And then one of the other questions that we get asked a lot is about when the attendees will have access to the event. Mm-hmm. So as an exhibitor, you'll have access leading up to the event so that you can start working on it in November and start building and stuff. Our attendees, we're going to launch to them on January 5th. So they have a week leading up to the event to sort of check things out, and they get to create their profiles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I guess those are some of the big questions that everybody's been asking.
Wonderful. Kyle, Wendy, Andrew, Carrie, thank you so much for your time. Everybody that joined us today to check out this town hall webinar. If you haven't signed up for Congress Connect yet, please seriously consider it. Carrie, I'll leave it for you to close. How do those that have not registered for Congress Connect, how do they do that, and who should they talk to?
Absolutely. So first of all, what we're going to do is this video is being recorded. So right after this video, we are going to be sending out an email link that has the video included so that you can rewatch it. It will also include the virtual options and as well as a link to the application form. So it'll be featured there. But if you're not on, if you've missed this webinar and didn't receive that email, you can always go to locongress.com, and we have our great resource page and all the forms right there.
Right
And
on.
virtual hugs for everybody.
Yeah, virtual hug for everyone. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Take care. Hope to talk to you all soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Stay
now.
safe. Bye.